Welcome to Wine, Food and Travel with me, Marc Millon, on Italian Wine Podcast. Listen in as we journey to some of Italy's most beautiful places in the company of those who know them best, the families who grow grapes and make fabulous wines. Through their stories, we will learn not just about their wines, but also about their ways of life, the local and regional foods and specialities that pair naturally with their wines, and the most beautiful places to visit. We have a wonderful journey of discovery ahead of us, and I hope you will join me. Welcome to Wine, Food and Travel with me, Marc Millon, on Italian Wine Podcast. Today my guest is Giancarlo Gariglio, the editor of the annual and important Slow Wine Guide. He's also the coordinator for the Slow Wine Coalition and the organizer of the Sana Slow Wine Fair that will be taking place in Bologna from March 27th to March 29th. Buongiorno, Giancarlo. How are you today?
Very well, thanks. Thanks, Marc.
Good. So you're joining me today from Bra, where you live. Bra, of course, is the home of Slow Food, an organization you've been involved with for quite a long time. It's an organization I've supported for many years as well. But I'm aware that not all of our listeners know about Slow Food. So can you give us a little bit of a background, an explanation about what Slow Food is, how it was born, how it has grown and evolved, and what its aims are today?
Slow Food was born in 1986 in Italy, in this small town. The name is Bra in Piedmont, and was born here simply because the founder is it's come from Bra, was born in Bra, and the name is Carlo Petrini. And when McDonald's opened in Piazza di Spagna in Rome, a flagship store and restaurant in Rome, for some Italian people was the enormous things, and they decided to create a movement that preserve and talk about the traditional food, not only from Italy, but also when we are in the US or in other part of the world, we talk about the traditional food of these countries. So we try to preserve the traditional food, and from the 2000 we create also a project. The name was Presidia, to save the food that is in course of disappear. So the traditional food, some seeds, some fruits, some vegetables, some also different animals like goat, cow, pig, and we try to save this kind of food or type of animals. And in 2000, and after in 2004 we create an event. The name was Terra Madre, that is a reunion of more than 5,000 food producers of all over the world, and this big event is organized in Turin, that is the capital of Piedmont, every 2 years. And this is our most important event for Slow Food. And we create also a network. The name of the network is the same of the event, so Terra Madre. And we organized also some another appointments in other part of the world, in Africa or in Latin America, or also in US.
Yes, so many activities, so many inspiring things have been created. But it's fascinating that out of the outrage at fast food on the Spanish steps of Rome, this immense and very important organization was born, really sitting around, almost around the kitchen table, or perhaps around the dining table in the Osteria Boccon di Vino, which I've been to many times in Bra, to discuss why it is important to safeguard local food cultures and traditions. And really, at the heart of slow food is this basic belief, isn't it, that the enjoyment of food is a fundamental human right for everybody, and that we need to protect the foods that are traditional, the foods that are good.
Yes, it's very important, and I think the most important thing is that slow food is not a movement against something, but slow food propose a different way to save and preserve the food, to give the right food to every people, and this is our mission. It's not a movement against McDonald's, but is a movement that propose something very simple but quite revolutionary.
Yes, it is revolutionary and it's quite inspiring, especially when the Terra Madre communities come together from all over the world, from the developed world, but also from the developing world. Slow food, finding a way with simultaneous translators on hand and people sharing networks of fishermen or beekeepers or apple growers from around the world will discuss similar problems and find a way to maintain traditional ways of life. So I find slow food very inspiring, and I'm also fascinated to know how this whole philosophy of slow food, of supporting food that is good, that is clean, and that is fair, how this translates into the world of wine, which is where you've been involved with the slow wine, with the and with the guides.
Yes, our guide was born only 12 years ago, and we decided to put the same words that you told before. So good, clean, and fair with the wines. So we declined the same words to the wines because for in our opinion the quality is not only the quality of the taste. For sure, the wines have to be very very good and also close to the terroir in which they are produced. But it's not the only thing to declare the quality of a wine. For us, it's very important also the way in which was grown the grapes. So we declare on our guide the method of produce the grape, and if the winery use herbicides, chemical herbicides or not, what kind of yeast they use. So we try to give a lot of information to our reader, to the people that buy our guide. And in our opinion, it's very important also the relationship between the winery and the people that work in the fields, in the vineyard. So also if they use people that they pay the right salary, and this is very important. Also, another thing for us is very important to the relationship between the winery and the people that live in the village close to the winery. So, in our opinion, the quality is defined by the three words that we told before: good, clean, and fair. And for this reason, we create a manifesto with 10 points, different points, a manifesto of the good, clean, and fair wine. And we presented this manifesto 2 years ago in Bologna during the Sana restart, the first fair after the COVID pandemic. And we present in this moment the manifesto, and after the presentation of the manifesto, we create a network, and the name of the network is Slow Wine Coalition.
Okay, so you're really taking those concepts of slow food, which lies at the heart of slow food, and bringing that into the whole world of wine, not just what is in the glass, but what it represents, supporting, for example, the use of preserving biodiversity with native grape varieties, making wines that are clean with minimal use of sulfites, for example, or using indigenous yeasts rather than cultured yeasts. And then the fair side, of course, as you say, the importance of wine in the local economy, of paying people a fair wage, and of supporting communities. So it's quite an all-embracing concept, and I think a very important one. It's too easy to look at wine simply as something that's in the glass. The guidebook itself, Slow Wine, I know that Slow Food originally was co-published with Gambaro Rosso, the Vini d'Italia guide with its famous Tre Bicchieri rating to the best wines. And what I particularly like about Slow Wine is the chiocciola symbol, the snail, the symbol of slow food, which is a coveted accolade, as coveted as a Tre Bicchiere. For the producers that really represent the soul of slow food. Tell us a little bit about this accolade, the chiocciola, the snail.
Yes, well, the snail is the symbol of our movement, and so we decide to give this symbol to the winery that, in our opinion, they work in the best way, both in the vineyard and both in the cellar. Um, for the reason that you told before. So, in our opinion, it's not important only what we can find in the glass, but we try to, first of all, to visit every year every winery that we decided to review. It's a long job, but it's the only way to know better the way in which the wineries work during all the process that all the process to produce the wine that we can find in the glass. So we have a lot of collaborators that visit, and they are mapping all the region of Italy. And from 2017, we decided also to create a guide in Slovenia, that is a small country on the border of Friuli Venezia Giulia. And in 2018, we create the guide in California, and after Oregon, Finger Lakes, and Washington State. And the two last guides that we create are in Macedonia, that's a small country in the east part of Europe. And the last that we will present in Bologna in March, at the end of the March, during the Slow Wine Fair. It will be the guide about China wines.
Wow, gosh, you have really expanded the publishing side of Slow Wine. I'm really impressed to hear that. It must have been a very arduous and busy time for you.
Yes, but it's very, for me, it's very nice. It's like a dream that is possible to make real.
Yeah,
Because to create also a guide in China, for me is very strange, but it's very important, because nobody or a few people in the west side of the world know something about the China wines. And there are a lot of wineries, more than 1,600 wineries in China, and we decide to create very small selection, because it's not easy to map all the China.
sure, yeah.
It's not easy also to find what we can try to find in the wineries, in a lot of different winery in China, because also for the slow wine China, we decide to put our ideas, so the good, clean, and fair, also for the this kind of guide. And and for this reason, the selection in for the first edition is not so big. It's like 40 wineries review.
Okay. Well, it's really interesting to be talking about slow foods values of good, clean, and fair. At the same time of this, in the past 2 decades, we've seen this green revolution in winemaking that seems to be gaining strength considerably year on and year, with more and more producers choosing to become either certified organic or simply to follow more natural rhythms with minimal intervention. And I'm sure you're finding that more and more producers are going down this path. Is that the case? For example, what percentage of producers in the current Slow Wine Guide, Italy, would you say follow something of this approach, whether or not certified?
Well, we saw in last 12 years, we start with a percentage of, I think, no more than 15% of certificated wineries at the beginning. And now we are up than 50%. So it's growing a lot, the number. And if we see, if we consider the wineries that we gave some awards, there are more than 70-80% of certificated wineries. So in our guide, we have a lot of certificated wineries, and we try also to inform the wineries to take the certification, because for us it's very important to that the number continue growing, because it's not easy, because they change a lot, also some rules for the use of copper in Europe, and now is more difficult than 3 years ago to make the biologic production in Italy and Europe, because you have to use no more than 4 kilos of copper every year.
The copper sulfite.
Yeah, in the vineyard, no more than 4 kilos for hectare. So it's a, a European number, but to understand how now is difficult for the vigneron to make the biologic now in Europe. But we try to inform the producers to take this kind of way.
Well, let's look at the Sana Slow Wine Fair that will be taking place in Bologna at the end of this month, from Sunday, March 27th until Tuesday, March 29th. You're one of the organizers. Tell us what will be happening.
For us, is the most important event organized by Slow Food in the history with the wines, because we organize Terra Madre, Salone Gusto, cheese, slow fish, but in the wine, this is the most important event that never organized by Slow Food, because in Bologna there will be more than 500 wineries from 18 different countries. The more percentage is from Italy, because also thanks to the COVID, it's not so easy to take some wineries from the other countries. But we have also a lot of different countries from Latin America, from US, from Eastern Europe. Yeah, it's a big event, and it's not a simple fair, because we decide to organize an event similar to Terra Madre, to match the part of the fair, so the people and the producer that they can
Learn from each other?
yeah, they learn from each other, but they can meet some professional trade people, and but there are also other part that we organize, like a free conference, the Slow Wine Arena, in which the people can meet each other, the producer can meet each other and talk about like Terra Madre, to some problems, some goals, some mission of some different way to produce the wines, some different method in the vineyard. So it's a fair, but it's also a meeting between the producer and the three different protagonists of our network, because our network is not a network created only by the producer, but we think that our goal is to match producer wine lovers and also the people that are in the wine industry. So three different subjects together to with the goal to promote the wine good, clean, and fair. Only with these three subjects we can promote a different way to produce the wines.
Okay, so just to be clear on that, it's both for the trade, for professional to professional, but also for consumers, for wine lovers to come and taste and discover this range of wines made in a more natural way. Is it open to the public then?
Yes, it's open on Sunday, and on Monday and Tuesday are open only to the wine industry. So we can involve all the three subjects, but only on Sunday for the wine lovers.
Okay, so wine lovers should head to Bologna on Sunday, March the 27th. I'm interested in, the fact that consumer tastes have changed just as winemaking has changed. And people, I find, are more and more interested in trying wines made in a more natural way, much more so than even, say, 10 years ago, when people were maybe a little bit suspicious of so-called natural wines made with minimal sulfites, for example. Have you found that consumer tastes have changed?
Yes, they changed a lot in this last, I think, more than 10 years, because the beginning, I start to work with slow food in 2000, and yeah, in 2002 2004 I saw the first difference in the judgment of the wines, also between the journalists. And after this first beginning in 2004 2005, also some wine lovers start to taste different wines, and to try to find also different wines. And so at the beginning, there are not too much natural wines, so wines produced with not so manipulated in the cellar. But yeah, we see a lot of growing that this movement grow a lot in the last 10 years.
Yes, I think so. And I think it's only going to get stronger and stronger. It seems that this, people really want to get back to a more basic way of winemaking without chemistry in the cellars and chemicals in the vineyard. So I'm sure that, and also I'm really delighted to hear how the publishing side is expanding. You're expanding your reach to highlight this type of winemaking, this type of approach to wine, not just in Italy, but in around the world. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of these guides, and indeed to visiting some of the places that you have visited. Giancarlo, it's been a really fascinating discussion with you this morning. I think it's a very important, this link between slow food, its ideals, and it's perhaps easy to understand that in relation to artisan foods, but now we have a much better understanding of slow food and slow wine, which is very important and very enjoyable. These are wines that are good to drink. They taste good. So I'm really glad we've been able to share our conversation, and I look forward to meeting. Unfortunately, I can't be in Bologna this year, but I look forward to meeting you on another occasion. Thank you very much for being my guest today.
Thanks a lot, Mark. I appreciate also a lot your interview. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Grazie. We hope you enjoyed today's episode of Wine, Food and Travel with me, Marc Millon, on Italian Wine Podcast. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe right here or wherever you get your pods. Likewise, you can visit us at italianwinepodcast.com. Until next time, chin chin.
guys, I'm Joy Livingston, and I am the producer of the Italian Wine Podcast. Thank you for listening. We are the only wine podcast that has been doing a daily show since the pandemic began. This is a labor of love, and we are committed to bringing you free content every day. Of course, this takes time and effort, not to mention the cost of equipment, production, and editing. We would be grateful for your donations, suggestions, requests, and ideas. For more information on how to get in touch, go to italianwinepodcast.com.